Welcome to Elevate Springfield, where we will dive into strategies and stories that help you rise to your full potential. Each episode, we'll talk about how you can take intentional steps to elevate your life and your business while making a meaningful impact on those around you. Along the way, we're going to bring in the change makers from our community that are already elevating. We'll bring the actionable strategies, you bring the discipline and follow through, and together we can elevate Springfield. All right, let's go. Welcome in, everyone. You are listening to the Elevate Springfield podcast. Robert Ferriell here, certified 10X coach, speaker, and mentor, ready to bring you actionable strategies. You bring that discipline and follow through, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. Well, another great week in store. Pumped up for more impact, pumped up for more growth in Springfield. I know you are too. Summer is kicking off. So many great things going on. We'll talk about those throughout the summer as well. But for today, I've got the president of Maintenance Supply and Masco, Jennifer Wagner, joining us, talking all things maintenance supply, her background, customer service, the whole nine. Everything they do at their great local company. So let's get right to Jennifer after the break. When you choose Masco Packaging and Industrial Supply, you're supporting local, female-owned success right here in our community. At Masco, customer service isn't just a promise. It's the heart of everything we do. From custom solutions to everyday supplies, we're here to keep your business moving. Trusted, local, committed to you. Masco Packaging, where service meets community pride. And we are back. Joining me in the studio is Jennifer Wagner from Maintenance Supply and Masco. Jennifer, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for joining us. I'm excited to learn a little bit more about you. I've worked with a lot of the folks from your company and everything over the years. So I'm excited to have you here today to learn about your role and kind of your background.
Well, that's great.
So why don't we start with that? Tell us a little bit about you. What's your background?
Well, I've been doing this for a little while. And when I say how long I've been doing it, it totally ages me. You're like, oh, that long? So I've been actually working at Maintenance Supply Corporation since 1991. And my parents purchased it in 1990. So it's a family-owned business, locally owned and operated. We are female-owned as well. The reason I have this opportunity is my father used to run the Maintenance Supply division for Maintenance Supply when it was a division of Capital City Paper Company. So, and he'd worked there for many years and then purchased the company from the Bunds in 1990.
Okay. So did you always think that you would be part of the family business, or did you have other ideas for what you might want to do? How did that look?
I did not have any idea to be in the family business at all. Looking back, I would have never thought I would still be where I am today. It wasn't my plan. I graduated with a public relations degree. I also was certified to teach elementary ed.
Okay.
So I did not see myself in this industry at all.
So did you ever do elementary ed? Did you ever do any teaching at all?
Student teaching, and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what drew you into the business then?
You know, I am I love a problem solver. I love people, and what we do there, we're the service industry, so we take care of people and solve their problems.
So tell us a little more about what the companies do.
So Maintenance Supply Corporation is service-oriented, and we do commercial janitorial service. We provide office cleaning to banks, state offices, federal, all sorts of organizations, industrial. And then we also have a window cleaning division, which does residential, commercial window cleaning, gutter cleaning, and power washing.
Okay. How long have you guys been doing that? Has that been part of it the whole time?
That's been part of it the whole time. They both have evolved and grown since the early 80s. And then we also sold janitorial supplies. About 25 years ago, we broke off another division. It was Masco Packaging and Industrial Supply. And we've grown that and decided to have a separate company. And so, yeah, we have Maintenance Supply Corporation, Maintenance Supply Window Cleaning, and Masco Packaging and Industrial Supply.
How has Masco grown over the year?
Well, we should just sell some janitorial supplies, and we realized there was a little niche in the area for packaging products as well. So we decided to sell J&SAM products and packaging products.
Tell us a little bit more about what you guys do at Maintenance Supply.
So Maintenance Supply, like I said, it's janitorial service. So we clean offices. I say people make messes every day and we clean them up. Mm-hmm. So that's the janitorial side of it. Window cleaning, we do residential and commercial window cleaning. So on the commercial side, we rappel, 10-story buildings. We do all over Central Illinois for more of our window cleaning, but we have amazing window cleaning staff and they're super efficient at what they do and do a great job. But we do all different kinds of industries as well in that area. And then we also do residential window cleaning. So we keep a lot of residential customers happy. We make their windows sparkle and shine and power wash their patios or pool decks or siding as well.
I've talked to Jeff about this before. I'm like, do you have any idea how many square foot of flooring you guys clean, like these giant areas that you guys take care of in our community?
I mean, we service about 150 buildings almost every night with our office cleaning.
That many?
Yeah.
Wow.
We probably service over 1 million square feet every night of office cleaning.
That's amazing. So how many people do you have out working every night doing that?
Most of our staff is part-time, but we have close to 100 employees.
Is that a struggle sometime, having that many employees, that many part-time employees? Is it a struggle to find people to fill those, or?
No, we have great staff, and I would say 90% of our staff has been with us over 5 years, 10 years. Some have been with us over 20 years. And then we have a small revolving door of people that just come and go at shorter intervals.
Sure.
But the majority of our staff are very long-term employees.
That's a high percentage. If you had 90% of them sticking around for 5 years or longer, that's really great. I mean, what do you attribute that longevity to?
We try to take care of people and we try to keep people happy and try to offer flexible schedules. Like I said, when someone's got a problem, they all know my number. I answer their phone calls, or if they need help, we try to help them out in any way we can.
What are some of the other kind of skill sets you hire for out there outside of those folks? What other job tracks do you have, I guess?
So we have a great office support staff. We have a sales staff that does amazing things. They're really smart. They're outgoing. They're go-getters. We have a warehouse staff. So yeah, we have a lot of different talents in our organization.
How important is it to have that locally owned presence here? You've been a family-owned business for a long time. How important is that?
I think it's super important. I mean, there's so many people that want to support other local businesses, and we're involved in the community here. We're local. We know people. I think it's a huge part of our business, and it helps us be successful.
Where'd you go to college at? I was just curious.
I went to Illinois State University.
Illinois State?
Yep.
Did you have any experience before going to work for the family business? Did you go work anywhere else at all, or did you go straight in there?
I had a public relations job for about a year.
Okay.
And then my parents bought the business, and I would pop in there every once in a while and just help them with some computer work or something. And I just ended up coming back. And then my dad asked me if I wanted a job, and I said, sure.
Yeah.
So
what drew you to public relations in the first place?
What did I do in public relations?
Yeah, what drew you to it?
Oh,
What made you want to do that?
Sure. I think, when you're trying to figure out what you want to do in college, and I don't know, but I definitely liked communication and arts and advertising. So I just thought that would be an avenue for me. So that's what I did.
You've been able to use some of those skills in your roles at Masco or Maintenance Supply?
Yes, every day.
I bet.
Is a little public relations.
I can imagine. So you guys have a lot of different clients in the area. I mean, I've talked to some of the other folks at your organization about this, but how do you guys elevate folks here in the Springfield area with what you guys do?
I think being local, and we're involved in the community. We encourage our staff and other coworkers to be involved and support and volunteer. And we have our staff, really, really great staff who's very involved in the community.
I will second that.
Yeah.
I know you have some phenomenal staff. I work closely with a couple of them, and they do great things in the community. They certainly are elevating our stuff out here.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. So how have you grown both companies over using your skill set? What have you done to grow both sides of the company over the years?
Well, the service industry was, I think, more locally known in the industry, and it's basically more concentrated in the Central Illinois area, Springfield community. No, that is our territory that we can service and service well, so that's what we concentrate on. And then the Masco packaging part, which is our GNC and packaging division, they service more of Central Illinois. So we have a sales staff covers a wider territory. We have, delivery drivers, support staff. We just have to market it a little outside of Central Illinois.
Talk to us a little bit about that first job. You said your dad had to get that job coming into the company. How have you grown from what was that initial job? And now you're, of course, the president. But what are some of those roles you've had over the years?
Well, in small businesses, we wear many hats.
Yeah.
So I've done all sorts of things. I started in just office support and helping with accounts receivable and payroll and things like that. And When we have staff that calls off from buildings, I've had to clean buildings myself.
Mhm.
I know how to run a carpet extractor and do all sorts of things. You get phone calls in the middle of the night when somebody doesn't show up, you have to go do it.
Uh-huh. How important is that, though, to be able to know firsthand what those job tasks are and how to do that as the leader of the company now, to be able to know exactly how to do that, and you can talk to your employees about that? How important is that?
I think it's huge. I also tell people I don't ask them to do anything I wouldn't do myself. So
Mhm.
I know what they're doing and have been through it with them. And we're all on the same team and we have one goal. And that's what we try to do.
Absolutely. So what would you consider your leadership style?
I would say I'm hands on, but then I'm also not. I definitely don't micromanage or anything like that. I tell people I don't care if you do ABC or if you do C. I don't care how it gets done as long as it gets done. And we just have really good people in place and they know what they need to do. We're very service oriented.
I'll tell you, you do have really great people in place. So what are some other ways that you've elevated the company, strategies that you've used to help grow either your people or your company?
I think it's important to be there and show up for our staff and our customers. I'm there and present, really.
Mhm. Yeah, I know you mentioned showing up for your customers on that customer service side. What are some of the ways that you're there for your customers and your clients?
Well, we have to understand what our customers' needs are and what their wants are, and then how we solve their problems. And if we can solve their problems, they're more likely to continue to work with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So being at the company for 30 years, do you have any clients that have been around with you that long?
Yes, we have had some of our clients with us for that length of time, and we've just got to make sure we take care of them. We provide good quality service with a good price and keep them happy.
Yeah. So is that the advice you would give to business owners out there that are trying to have that longevity in their client base?
I think you have to know your clients and really how to take care of them, what they need, what their needs are, what their wants are. Yeah, you've got to be loyal. You've got to understand. And nothing in life is like amazing always. There's
Right.
always problems you're going to have. So I try to address any issues we have immediately and take care of the problems.
No, absolutely. Completely agree there. You mentioned, we were talking earlier about kind of the synergy of the companies, how they kind of work together and kind of play off each other. Talk to us a little bit about that.
So we have the service side, the janitorial service, which then we originally sold some janitorial supplies, which is why we have Masco now. So I might be in a customer's office and they might have a supply need. So I can refer that to our Masco division and they then can have their sales staff who are more knowledgeable about products, go talk to them and take care of that issue as well. And then the window cleaning as well. You might be in there cleaning their offices and they realize they need their windows cleaned. So we're just there to help in that area too.
Absolutely. So how do you use technology there at Masco or Maintenance Supply?
Well, it's evolved so much over the
Mhm.
years. And now with AI and everything, it's kind of crazy what you can do with all those things. Our industry is not super tech savvy, to be honest, but there are certainly things that are becoming more opportunities for us to be more technical.
I'll tell you, I was at, what is it, Masco University, a
Yeah.
couple of weeks ago. They had that cool robot that was
Right.
the the floor scrubber that was a
Exactly.
robot. I thought that was really cool. They
That
could
is why I was going to say. So in that industry, yes, robotics are a big thing.
oh, I bet.
But again, most of like I say, what my people do, people are our tools.
Hmm.
So not super controllable things there. So we're not a telephone or a computer that does the same thing for every day. So, but yeah, there's lots of new. We had to be a little bit innovative and keep up with trends and things like that.
So on the service side, as the leader of the company, how do you serve your employees?
Well, I'm there for my employees. I answer their phone calls at 2 a.m. when they call me.
Mm.
I don't ask them to do anything I haven't done myself.
Yeah.
So
Let's switch gears and talk about the personal side for a moment. We're going to come back to the business in a minute, but what are some things you do personally to elevate your life outside of the business side?
I'm a big proponent of working out. I think that keeps my physical, mental, emotional well-being
Mm.
in a good place, which is better for all the employees and everybody I work with.
Absolutely. Well, I'm big into working out too. What are some of the workouts you do? What kind of stuff are you into?
Oh, I run a couple times a week. I do Peloton. I do my Peloton bike a couple times a week. I do weights as well and hit the gym. I'd say probably 5 days a week, but I try to exercise 7 days a week.
Awesome. Me too. Any
Yeah.
nutrition regimen that you try to follow?
I try to be healthy. Most of the time, I'm pretty good.
Anything else you do personally to
elevate yourself, make sure you're in tip-top shape for your employees and for your clients, mentally, physically.
I do a yoga class maybe once a week as well.
Hey, there you
That
go.
helps.
Yeah, that's one thing I haven't tried too much, but the few times that I've done it, I really enjoyed it. It's one of those things where I think if I really went to do it, I would really enjoy it and like to do it long term, but I just haven't. Maybe one of these days I will.
And it's surprising what a great workout it is as
Mhm.
well. Like when you are in the gym and you're working out so much and then you do a yoga class, you feel like you're just stretching and all these things. You're not. You're
Mhm.
working every muscle.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Super cool.
Yeah. Have you always been a runner? Have you always liked doing that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing with me. I was never a long distance runner. I was more of a sprinter. I like doing sprints, but I never was a long distance type of runner. But as I've gotten older, I've learned to like it more. I've always been more of the weight training and the sprints and things like that, but I enjoy it now.
That's good.
Yeah. So let's go back to your employees. You do have so many great employees. How do you find them? How do you find and develop those people? Because that can be difficult. A lot of companies are having trouble finding good people. So how do you do that?
It is hard to find good people, but they're out there. And we have great staff that really mentors our other staff, and just good role models that kind of you have to take them under your wing and show them what's the right way to do things and just take care of them.
Absolutely. And then how do you help them grow? Do you guys do any kind of training and different things at the company?
We do a little bit. I mean, again, I just think there's a lot of mentor opportunities for them to learn from other people that have been doing it longer and just, again, support them in any way we can.
So what's next for Maintenance Supply or Masco? Anything big coming up soon?
No, just keep doing what we do and hopefully do it better and bigger and all that good stuff.
So what's some advice you would give for somebody that's wanting to start their own small business here locally?
Well, I would say be prepared to work a lot and work really hard. I mean, it consumes your life in order to get things going. So it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah. And how is that with a family-owned business like that? I think it's more difficult to have a family-owned business or less difficult being so family-centric like that?
Now we're talking. No, I mean, family-owned businesses, I mean, they're great, but there's certainly, you've got some personalities every
Mhm.
once in a while that you have to deal with, and you just know each other in a different regard than just like a regular coworker.
Yeah, the relationship's different.
For
I mean,
sure.
you've grown up with these people and all that. It's just a different relationship than you would if you just hired everybody from outside.
Right. So sometimes it can get, you can get a little emotional about things and you just have to kind of put it in check and say, we're working right now. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
So I know there's some percentages out there. There's some stats for second generation business owners and how those businesses tend to fail eventually. I know we were talking about a little bit about that, but how was Maintenance Supply and Masco pushing through that? Because you being the second generation in there right now, right?
Correct. I am second generation. So originally the companies were my parents. And like I said, I've been on for 30 years about, and only 30% of second generation businesses survive.
Wow.
And right now we are fortunate enough to have, my brother also works for our companies. And then we have two third generation, two of my nephews are working for us right now too. That's really cool.
No, 30%. I mean, that's a very small number.
It sure is. Yes.
So what are you guys doing to ensure that you're not part of that 30%?
Well, you just have to, again, it's a lot of hard work and just making sure we're staying relevant and keeping our customers happy and solving problems.
I know in a lot of different industries, I don't know if it's true for yours, but there's a lot of consolidation going on where a lot of large companies are swallowing up some of the smaller local companies. Is that happening in your industry?
Absolutely. I would say we probably get at least one phone call every week about mergers and acquisitions.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. What are some of the large companies out there? Would they be companies that people know, or are they companies that kind of are behind the scenes?
I'd say they're behind the scenes.
Or nobody really knows their name, probably. Yeah. Okay. So are most of the other companies in your industry getting swallowed up by those, or no? Or is it people trying to stay local and smaller family owned?
There's a combination. I would say more of the packaging and Jansen companies are, getting bought out by larger companies. Janitorial is still a little bit more of, so you'll have some smaller companies that are running them, but some larger companies out there that, are the major players.
No, I bet. Well, we are certainly appreciative in the Springfield area to have you guys such a force in locally owned businesses and staying local with us and having such a great commitment to our area. So
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
We're
absolutely.
glad we're here. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So you mentioned female owned. How important is that to the community to have female owned businesses represented?
Well, I think it is important. I don't think it's everything, but I think it's nice and just showing that there is growth on that side of the world as well, that, that females can do it too.
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
I'd say our industry is more of a male dominant industry. So I don't really know that it gives us an edge to anything, but we're female owned and operated.
So if anybody wanted to do business with you guys, where would they go to start the process?
Well, our office is over on North Street. And I ask people all the time when they call and say, where's North Street? I said, do you know where Kim's Auto Body is or Charlie Parker's Diner? Because they've either had their car done or eaten down the street. So we're right there on North Street.
Yep. No, I say the same thing. That little area right there, because you don't really go back there unless you have a reason to. It's right there. But yeah, I say the same thing. Well, right by Charlie Parker's or right by Kim's Auto Body.
Yep.
So, well, I'll tell you what. Give us one more takeaway, one more way that people can elevate their life or their business. So one more from the personal side, one more from the professional side to help folks elevate their life or business.
I think to elevate your life, you just got to take care of yourself. You can't be good for anybody else unless you're good for yourself first.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. What about professionally?
Professionally, I mean, I say when you cross the threshold at your office, you got to be ready to work.
Put that hat on and let's go.
Yep.
Let's get
absolutely.
it. I love it. Well, Jennifer, appreciate you spending some time with us this afternoon. Keep up the great work over at Maintenance Supply and Masco.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to let Jennifer get back to Elevate Springfield. And for the rest of y'all, we'll be back after the break.
When you choose Masco Packaging and Industrial Supply, you're supporting local, female-owned success right here in our community. At Masco, customer service isn't just a promise. It's the heart of everything we do. From custom solutions to everyday supplies, we're here to keep your business moving. Trusted, local, committed to you. Masco Packaging, where service meets community pride. All right, how about Jennifer, everybody? Great stuff. A lot of stuff for you guys to take away there. One thing that we talked a lot about, and one thing that she said was very important to her company was that customer service. So I'm going to spend some time today talking about some of these customer service strategies straight from Cardone Enterprises. We're going to talk a little bit about where this happens, the where, when, and how. Some of those failures that you need to make sure you stay away from, a little bit of everything. So, let's start with that. What is customer service? Why customer service? The purpose here is to raise your awareness, literally wake you up. So you have the same sensitivity to customer service that you do as a buyer, but in the position of serving people. Because here's the thing, your job, your future, and your value depend on your ability to work with your company, work with your customer, and deliver great customer service. Now, I know all y'all know this already. We all know it, but quite frankly, we take it for granted. We don't pay attention to it enough, and then we don't please our customers. So let's start by defining customer service. This is the process of ensuring customer satisfaction with a product or service. Quite simple, right? Often, customer service takes place while performing a transaction. It can happen online. It can happen on a phone call. It could happen while you're getting information. It could happen during the sale, after the sale, before the sale. It can happen all over the place in a lot of different places. So this is the where, when, and how. And by the way, customer service is different at all of these points. It can take the form of an in-person interaction, talking to somebody. It can happen over video, a phone call. It could be a self-service system. It could be on your website. It could be, again, before the sale, after sale, during the sale. Could be while they're trying to track down data or information, or maybe they're now dissatisfied with something they bought and they're calling you trying to get a problem solved, right? So let's define a little bit further. What is satisfaction? So satisfaction is fulfillment of one's wishes, right? Now, how are you going to satisfy someone's wishes? How are you going to fulfill those wishes? What are the customer's wishes? You need to know them first, right? What are their expectations? What are their needs? What pleasure do they derive from your product or service, right? So the reality is you have to know what their expectations are for you to be able to fulfill them, right? You know what to expect when you go to a hotel or get on an airline or buy a product or online. Maybe it's shoes, whatever, right? Could be a plumbing service for your house. You have an expectation. Whether you verbalize it or not, you have an expectation you want from that company. And when they don't fulfill that, how do you feel? Not good, right? Well, that's customer service. In that particular instance, when they did not meet your expectation, you're not being serviced. So you really need to flip that when you're delivering service. I don't care what your role is, whether you're at the front desk, you're in IT, you're in shipping, whatever. Customer service is everyone's job, right? The definition of service, what is service? It's the occupation or function of serving. To serve, right? It means to serve somebody. That's what you're doing when you're doing customer service. You're waiting on someone. You're trying to fulfill their needs and satisfy them. The work performed by one that serves. So are you doing that in your business? Are you fulfilling the customer? Are you satisfying them? Are you meeting their expectations? Again, regardless of your position in your company, everyone has the responsibility to satisfy a customer, to deliver service beyond what is expected or what they paid for. That's the goal of Cardone Enterprises, to deliver levels of service that we don't even have to really talk about customer service because it's not a problem, right? So you want to make customer service so prevalent and so ingrained that you, specifically you and your company, are most known for your customer service, not just in your industry, but in your community, that you're the person that goes the extra mile, like we've talked about before, and delivers that great customer service. So where can we fail with customer service? Let's talk about that a little bit. You know, we all fail at times in a lot of different things, but specifically in customer service. I think we all know that customers are becoming increasingly dissatisfied because organizations are failing to deliver great customer service. So here's 4 examples of where people fail or companies fail with customer service. We're going to talk about these in a lot of different situations. So just think about you being a customer today and you being the person that's trying to handle that customer and make them happy. So number 1, inconsistent with service throughout the organization. Manager says one thing, you say another thing. You say one thing, the manager says another thing. That's confusing to the customer. Everybody in the organization needs to figure out a way to say yes to the customer, what that yes looks like. That doesn't mean that you're just giving away everything, but we got to figure out how we can say yes to our customer and not confuse them. Number 2, reactive, not proactive. You have to get ahead of the problem. We're going to be talking a lot about customer satisfaction, that you're actually looking for indicators. Are they actually happy, or are they just saying they're happy? So be proactive, not reactive like most people are. Number 3, one-size-fits-all customer engagement processes. Look, we've got a lot of different reasons why people actually complain about customer service. Some are not even legitimate claims. There's a $1 billion industry out there of just fraudulent customer service claims that happen every single day. You're dealing with people. You're dealing with human beings. Some of them have different agendas. Some of them might have overpaid for their product, or maybe they underpaid but overbought. You know what I mean? They literally should not have bought your product or service, and now they're having buyer's remorse because they can't afford it. So what they do is make up reasons why they're so unhappy. That actually happens quite a bit. So the one-size-fits-all customer engagement process won't work because you have people with different intentions, right? Somebody buying something for $2 is different than somebody buying something for $2,000. Now, I know we'd all like to believe that they're all the same and they should all be treated the same, but the reality is, as you go up the food chain or down the food chain, the expectations become different. Doesn't mean that both should not be treated like they're very, very important, like they're $1 million, but the expectations become different. So you have to treat it as such. Number 4, inefficient agent interactions. People are just not trained properly. Not trained, not aware and conscious of what they're doing. Put somebody on hold for 30 seconds, might think that's not a big deal, but speed is huge for people, right? That's too long for most people. So agent interaction, you need high awareness. You need lots of training, you need to be aware constantly. So these are 4 places that we all mess up, and it is easy to mess up in our customer service. So pay attention to these 4. Make a list of where your company has been failing, and also make a list of some familiar customer complaints that you're getting. What are they about? Are they about how long it's taking? Are they about how couldn't get anybody on the phone? They're talking about, I talked to too many people, the price I paid, I got a better deal elsewhere. All those things are customer complaints. Your website says one thing and you're telling me another, right? So all those things are ways we can fail. So we're going to talk about all that and how to make sure you're able to deliver customer satisfaction, customer experience that is literally the best in your industry and the best, period. All right, so next up, customer satisfaction or customer acquisition. Acquisition, of course, means you're getting a customer, right? Customer satisfaction means you're going to satisfy a customer. But in Cardone world, they're really no different. We all want to satisfy the customer, but we also want to acquire a customer. The reason you want to satisfy a customer is because if you don't satisfy them, you're not going to stay in business. Somebody is going to come and make a better deal. Take Uber, for example. People used to complain about cabs all the time. Too expensive, couldn't get one when it's busy, right? Uber basically took that entire industry, flipped it, and made it a win-win for everybody, the customer, the driver, everyone. And the taxi cab industry literally got worked overnight. So without a customer, there's no one to service. So we have to have acquisition at front of mind as well. Acquisition is actually the satisfaction of a customer, because to acquire a customer, to get a customer, had to make them happy in the product, the offer, the service, the solving of a problem, right? Person had to be trusted that was actually dealing with them and the company and the management team. Acquisition of a client should always be the primary concern. Even if, like I mentioned earlier, you're at the front desk, you're in shipping, you're in IT, you're in accounting, whatever, you as an employee of the company should be thinking about customer acquisition and customer satisfaction, not just your specific job, your specific post. Right? What about the people that are coming into your company every day? You see them, right? We don't have positions if we don't keep our customers happy and we don't keep acquiring new customers. Here's the thing, loyalty in products is very, very slim anymore. People aren't loyal to companies and products like they used to be. There's a pretty high percentage, probably 20%, that are going to change on you regardless of what they do. So the ultimate customer service play, the ultimate customer satisfaction play is to go big. You have to go big if you want to satisfy more customers. You have to go wide. Great companies must get big. While you might think of the company like Apple or Microsoft that started in a garage, we do not know them because they stayed in a garage. They got big. They got huge, actually, and got real wide. So we can say that we're going to provide the best customer service by staying small, but to really keep acquiring customers and keep satisfying customers, you have to go big and wide. And again, it's everyone's responsibility to help the company acquire new customers, because through the acquisition of customers, by going wide, by getting big, by increasing volumes, you're actually going to get quality customers, more quality customers, people that want to be happy, people that want to be satisfied, people that are looking for quality, looking for impact, right? And you're going to discover that when you get large enough and have a big enough pool, that you're going to discover people that actually can be satisfied. Because again, 20% are going to leave regardless of what you're doing. So if you're not actively bringing in customers to your company, regardless of your position, maybe you don't feel good about the experience you're delivering right now. That could be an indication, right? your interest in bringing new people, new customers into your organization, regardless of your position, is an indication of how engaged you are, how interested you are, and how committed you are, and how you feel about what you're doing on a daily basis. So we talked a few minutes ago about not all customer service is equal. Not all customer engagement strategies are equal, right? So we all know everyone wants to believe that all customers should be treated equal, and we are all equal, of course, but there are different strategies needed for people depending on where they are at in the buying cycle. So in order to provide the highest levels of customer service, you have to understand where the customer's at in the buying cycle. Are they in research? When they're researching, they're just looking on the internet, checking it out, getting all the data they can, right? It's a different level of customer service. So in the research phase, you've got different concerns, different things different things you want as a customer, right? So in research days, you're simply just collecting data. Hungry for information, don't know enough yet, might be on the wrong product, might be looking at something that's not even what I need, not going to solve my problem, might be too much product, might be too much service, might not be enough, might even be premature even in thinking about getting that product or service. Number 2 is the interest stage. What is my interest, or what is your customer's interest? And this can change as they collect and do research. Interest changes over time as well, which means the ability to serve them and exceed their expectations would also change if you're trying to answer their questions. Number 3, comparison and decision making. So you've got most of the information you need and you're starting to compare, right? So now you as a company have a different customer. So the customer experience, the way you deliver to them, is going to be different. Number 4, moving into negotiating. You're wanting to get your best deal. You're the customer wanting to get your best deal, right? That doesn't always mean the best price. It means the most value for their money. In most cases, or the most assurance. In some cases, it's just doing the right thing, right? Which has nothing to do with money, nothing to do with the product. Number 5, that's taking delivery of the product, whether it's a car, a meal, whatever. Taking delivery of your new phone or your new shoes, right, that you just bought. Do you really like the product? Are you satisfied with your purchase now? There's before the sale, after the sale, during the sale, right? All these different places. You have to understand that each method of communication at each of these stages is different. And with each one of these personalities, depending on what their actual intentions are when they're asking for more service. So how you should vary these approaches with personalities takes a lot of skill and takes a lot of training, and it takes commitment and awareness like an owner. If you're the owner of the business, even if you're not the owner of that business. So we're going to cover some of this and more. You're going to get to the point where your customers are saying, hey, this company is unbelievable. This person is unbelievable. And they feel great about doing business with you. All right, let's talk about customer service before the sale. Now, sometimes when people hear this, you're like, hey, I'm not a salesman. Doesn't matter. If you're at a company, the top line of your company, the way wages are paid, the way you're paid each month, every 2 weeks, or every week, is because the company has revenue, and those revenues come from customers. Your job, whether you're, again, at the front desk, in accounting, in IT, in shipping, or whatever, your job is to deliver good customer service. So traditionally, other departments are not thinking about customer service before the sale. That is the research and interest phase that we talked about earlier, where customers maybe don't want to talk to a salesperson. They want to talk to, a computer, essentially. They want to get that information online. They don't want to talk to shipping. They want to get their questions answered, right? But you're not going to be talking to billing or shipping or anything like that. Customers really are consuming a lot of data in this research and interest phase. Might be a lot of questions after questions after questions on the wrong product or on the wrong service. You really want to be their own source of information here. This is where you want to grab dominance, not competition. Of course, we've talked about that before. You don't want to compete in the marketplace. You want to dominate in the marketplace. And in this particular instance, you want to make sure you dominate the source of information, the well of data so deep that they don't have to go anywhere else
to get it, right? And this is where your online presence really comes in. So this is how you elevate your value in the marketplace. Think omnipresence. Think about being the only source. That means you need to be able to provide people with information that maybe they haven't even asked for yet. You want to predict what people want. You want to offer more than what they ask for. You want to over-deliver. You actually want to overpromise and over-deliver, not just underpromise and over-deliver. We've talked about that before. Overpromise, over-deliver. Tell them if you're talking to them. Maybe they actually came to your store. Tell them you'll get them everything they need. You'll handle everything. You do not need to do anything. You need to take responsibility for everything and become that only source so people become dependent upon you as the one they trust for all their data. Over-deliver here on any expectations, both asked for and not asked for. And also deliver information in writing, not by mouth. People don't believe what they hear. They believe what they see. They trust what they see. They like notes. They like to see data. The more you give them, the less they look. Overwhelm people with information and willingness to serve particularly. And again, whether it's in person or online, use them all. Overwhelm the customer and become that data source. And think speed too. Speed is everything in the marketplace today. The willingness to serve and to give more, not just say more, to prove that you want to be there is the way to separate your product, your company, and your position. The way you kill your chances of securing a customer is being slow, doing less, and being like everyone else. If it's hard to get information from you, if they have to beg to get data, right? It is so competitive right now. There's so many choices for everyone's money right now. They can just simply go somewhere else. So make this customer service thing a very aggressive, technologically aggressive, assertive, predictive initiative so that you can set yourself aside in the marketplace and use every avenue available to you. All right, so during the sale, customer service in the negotiation stage, during the sales process, while they're interested in research, buying a product or service is where your whole focus now is to serve the customer, not the company. See, the sales process at your company should be designed to serve the customer from the first point they hit the site to the phone call to when they walk into your brick and mortar. Your job is to serve the customer. And the sales process, by the way, should be to serve the customer, not the company. So if you have a sales process that's talking about control, don't give, hide this information, that's not serving anybody. Definitely not serving your customer. It ends up coming back on you and making it too difficult for the service team or the sales team to actually serve the customer. Now, at Cardone Enterprises, believe that you don't actually serve a customer until you close that customer. That closing that deal, that product, is the highest form of service. So understand that your job in the sales cycle is to close the deal, is customer acquisition, is making sure they acquire product. So make sure in the sales process that you're looking for indicators of needing more data, needing more information, discovering unspoken objectives, right? Again, you're in the sales process. This is a customer service experience. Remember, the number one way to provide a great customer service is what? That's right, customer acquisition. All right, so finally, after the sale. Customer service is normally considered after the sale for most folks, right? That's what we're going to talk about now. Just made a sale, you want to speed things up now and not think about a day or 2 days or a week or month later. I want you to think about at delivery, at point of delivery of the product or service. This is where we find out whether your company is legit or not on the customer service front, right? Are you actually over-delivering what was promised? When you deliver your product or service, make sure you're asking the hard questions. Asking of your customers, are you happy? Are you satisfied? If there was one thing I could do for you right now, what would that be? If there's one thing I could get accomplished, what would that be? If there's one more thing I could do for you, what would it be? Do an exit survey at point of delivery. Were you satisfied? Were you happy? Did we exceed your expectations? You could also do an exit survey when they don't buy. Were you pleased? Were you happy? Did you get the information? See, you want to do that now, not later.
want to take whatever you might be thinking about doing 15 days, 30 days, 3 months from now and put it into the now, the right here and the right now. Speed, right? We talked about that a couple of minutes ago. Also, you got to start thinking about long-term follow-up. What are you going to do tomorrow, 3 days from now, a week from now? So Cardone Enterprises created a follow-up program. They're calling people every single day. Now, you have to be very creative and use all types of technology to reach out to somebody every single day like that. But it's that follow-up, it's that consistent and persistent follow-up that makes for great service and more customer acquisition down the line. So throughout that follow-up, whether these people are sold or unsold, you need to keep good files on people, right? This is mostly going to be in your CRM. What's important to them? Where do they live? What did they buy last time? Why did they buy it? What's their biggest concerns? Oh, is there something they wanted they didn't get, right? Start building a profile on that customer so you can stay in touch with them and have something to actually talk to them about, right? Stay connected with them so you can exceed their expectations. Can't do that without those notes. Take your game to the next level, both before the sale, during the sale, and after the sale when it comes to customer service. And again, if you are not a salesperson, quit saying things like, I'm not in sales, right? It is everyone's job to satisfy customers and, again, to acquire customers. So we're going to touch on some more customer service strategies in another episode. But for today, we'll be right back after the break.
Hey everybody, if you like what you've heard so far, hey, join us over on Facebook. We have a group and a page over there. You can also join our free community where we will bring you additional insights and strategies to help you elevate your life, your business, and ultimately our community. You can find that link in the show notes. We would love to have you join us. Let's get back to it.
Well, thank you for joining us today, everybody. Appreciate you making us a part of your day. Hey, if you want to get caught up on those previous episodes, just head on over to your favorite podcast outlet. Search for Elevate Springfield. Should be able to find us. While you're there, give us a like or a subscribe. We would sure appreciate it. How about Jennifer? Appreciate her stopping by and spending some time with us this afternoon. Doing great things over at Maintenance Supply and Masco. So take what you learned today. Take these actionable strategies. You bring the discipline and follow through. And together, we're going to elevate Springfield. We'll see you next week. Be great.